Hey guys, I just got back from a Silver Age win-a-box tournament where I won a box on Dromai. Been playing quite a lot of Silver Age since it was officially announced, and the format has been very fun. I've been wanting to do a few deck techs on a few different decks, and I figured that even though it's just a small tournament, it might be the first ever Silver Age tournament, so what better excuse is there? Before we get in, don't forget to like and subscribe. So, to kick things off, I'll quickly go through the equipment. I'm playing Storm of Sandakai as the only weapon. For the two helmets, there's Glory Seeker and Seeker's Hood. For the two arm pieces, Wave of Reality and Silken Form. The one chest piece is Blossom of Spring, and then the three leg pieces, Blade Beckoner Boots, Mage Master Boots, and Silent Stilettos. For anyone that's new to Flesh and Blood and has never seen a Dromai deck before, Storm of Sandakai is you just always play this weapon if you want to play dragons. It lets you attack with them for free, so you need to play this weapon. For the two head slots, Glory Seeker is an instant, you pay 3, destroy it, draw a card. The reason Dromai plays this is that every time you pitch a red card, you make an ash token. And so if I pitch 3 reds going first, I make 3 ash and I draw a card. So if I'm lucky and I see a 0-cost dragon, I get to play that out and arsenal a card. So this just gets your ash economy going. Making ash in efficient ways in this deck is very difficult without Flamescale Furnace. So Glory Seeker, I think, is a must play if you want to play this deck, especially into the aggro decks, because starting the game off with 3 ash, even when going first, means that your 0-cost dragons, which are the best dragons in this format, you can just play them out whenever you want, and that's very strong. The Seeker's Hood, I had that in there for going second, but honestly after the tournament I'm not sure I'd play it just because Glory Seeker is that important. The arm pieces that I went for are Wave of Reality and Silken Form. Wave of Reality is the one that I play into the vast majority of heroes. This just gives you 2 breakpoints that you can cover. It's very nice, but it's also good into physical attacks and it's good into arcane as well. So it's just a very good all-rounder. And I play Silken Form only into fatigue matchups. If I think I'm going to get fatigued, say by a Guardian or a Defensive Brute, then I run Silken Form just because it makes 1 extra Ashwing. And when I go into some of the sideboard plans later, you'll see that 1 extra Ashwing can actually make all the difference. So yeah, Wave Reality is the main one, but Silken Form is also very important. And then the one chest piece, I couldn't find the Blade Beckoner chest piece in time, so I just went with Blossom of Spring, but I'm glad I did, because Blossom of Spring is incredibly strong. As I said, I think the 0-cost dragons are your best plays in such a short format, and what Blossom of Spring is it says once per game, either your Miragai, your Kyloria, or your Yenderai is also a 0-cost. Playing out Kyloria as just a 1-card, 4 go again on hit, draw a card or steal item is very powerful, and Blossom of Spring enables this. There's also some other cute things you can do. If your hand is just like a Sweeping Blow and a 0-cost dragon, you can now just pop Blossom of Spring, play the Sweeping Blow, make an ash, and then play the dragon. That's a really strong play, really good value there. And then when it comes to the boots, I'm playing 3. I feel this is maybe a bit excessive. The Blade Beckoner Boots, this comes in for all of my aggro matchups, just so it's another way to cover a breakpoint. And the Mage Master Boots, that's in here just for the fatigue matchups. And the Silent Stilettos, these are in here for the Wizards and for Viserai and Vincent. I wouldn't play it into Briar, Aurora, Florian, for example. I'm not sure if I actually need the Silent Stilettos because this deck makes so many Ashwings and it would clear up some sideboard space as well, which is quite helpful. But to talk about Mage Master Boots quickly, and the reason I run that is in matchups where I'm running Passing Mirage, if I pitch a red, I make an ash to activate Mage Master Boots, and then I can play out Passing Mirage, and that's basically my 3rd copy of Miragai. It's a very strong tempo play into matchups that play a lot of poppers, like KO, and then also into the ones that are trying to fatigue me, like the Guardians. It just buys you a lot of space, so very strong for that. Now for the dragons. I'll talk about the 0-cost ones first. 2 Asvalai and 2 Dromai. These are the only 0-cost dragons. If there were more, I would definitely play them. Dromai is probably the best dragon in the deck. When you attack with it or when it's destroyed, you gain an action point. So this is very good when combined with some of your chain enders, and also very good into your fatigue matchups. And then Asvalai also really busted. The 1 arcane will win you so many games. You get your opponent down low. If you've got an Asvalai in your stack, then when it comes out, it's just game over. Presenting AB into Dromai just isn't really worth it because it is just Asvalai that does arcane. And so if you have 2 Asvalai in your deck and your opponent doesn't present AB, they're starting on 18 life. And he's also quite hard to kill. With 3 health, there's not many things that can kill him efficiently. Next for the 1-cost dragons, playing 2 Yenderai, 2 Miragai, and I'm playing 2 Kyloria. These are just really solid value. They all do really good things. Kyloria into aggro decks is very, very strong, especially with Bosma Spring. It buys you a lot of tempo. Yenderai just never dies. I hadn't played Dromai in a long time, and I'd forgotten just how difficult it is to kill him for the opponent. So there are some games I just played out Yenderai, and he just stayed there all game because there's nothing really good enough there's nothing that feels good for your opponent to clear him with. And then Miragai, this card is amazing into your popper matchups, a very, very good tempo play. Your opponent has to clear Miragai if they are running poppers, because then they're just running these clunky 6 or more power cards that just don't really do anything. So yeah, very, very strong. Again, I'm playing all the 1-cost dragons that I can because they're all broken. And then for the 2-cost dragons, I'm playing 2 Invoke Themai, and I'm also playing 2 Invoke Uvia. For these ones, at this point, I'm more playing them just to have a certain amount of density of dragons for certain matchups. Themai is obviously very, very strong into the wizards because it stops them from trying to kill you on their turn, but it also turns off D-Reacts into Guardian and just has a few niche applications here or there. It's also a really good generator of Ash if you're playing in a matchup that's a bit slower. You can just pitch 2 reds, play a Themai, and your Ash is up and running again. And then Uvia, this is primarily in here for the fatigue matchups. Ash Wings are broken in this format, which is why Rake the Embers is banned. And so just having a card that lets you make more Ash and also makes you an Ashwing into something like a Guardian is very, very strong, because Uvia being 6 health means that your Guardian opponent can't just swing Titan's Fist into it, they have to send an actual attack. And being able to play out more than 1 dragon a turn is how you build up that board and set up for that final kill. I've got a fly bothering me. I'm not playing any of the 3-cost dragons. I'm not playing Necria, and I'm not playing Berserkai. I don't think that they do enough into your aggro matchups because you have to pitch a blue to see them, and running blues in this deck is a bit sus. And so seeing it line up with the blue is quite difficult, and also it is Ash negative, which isn't great. And in the slower matchups, it just doesn't really do enough. Necria doesn't really do enough, and Berserkai, they don't win you games, so I just didn't want to run them for that, and also I didn't want to put more blues into the deck to justify running them. For the attack actions, the 2 starters that I play, which are 0 cost, are Rabble, and the conditional starter is Scar for a Scar. Then I'm also running 2 Blaze Headlong, 2 Snatch, 2 Dust Up, and 2 Sweeping Blow. Ravenous Rabble is basically always 0 for 4 go again. It turns on Dromai's hero ability, where if you've played a red, you get go again. So this starting your turn off is so, so good. Scar for Scar, another 0 for 4 go again. Because of the way Dromai plays, you'll often find yourself behind in life because you are either against aggro decks that are hitting you hard, or you're against, say, a Brute or a Guardian, and you're just trying to take a bit of time to set up. So most of the time Scar for Scar is live. When it's not, it can just be a 0 for 4 Chain Ender, so it's very, very strong. Blaze Headlong, if you played a red, gets go again. 0 for 4 go again almost all the time, all the times that you see it. So again, it's a natural inclusion into the deck. And then Snatch. Snatch without Snapdragon Scalers is sometimes a bit awkward, but I do like it into the aggro decks because it's a really nice 1-card play, kind of forces blocks out of them. And if you combine it with Chromai, then the Snatch basically has go again and it becomes a lot better. So Chromai and it being a Chain Ender to aggro are the reasons to play Snatch. And then the best Chain Ender in the deck, in my opinion, is Dust Up. When it hits, you make an Ash, and then you can also make an Ashwing if you want. So this isn't just 0 for 4 that blocks 3, it is far more than that. I don't think I came across a single opponent today that let this hit, because everyone knows kind of just how much value you get from Dust Up. The card is insane. And again, if you combine it with Chromai, it's a 0 for 4 go again that makes you an Ash and then makes an Ashwing. So it's more than a 0 for 4 if it hits, especially with Chromai. And then lastly, there's Sweeping Blow in red. This is a 1 for 3 go again, which isn't great, but it does net you 2 Ash, which is very important in the slower matchups. In the faster matchups, I like using, as I said at the start, Blossom Spring with this just to make 1 Ash, and then I can play out a 0-cost dragon. Because if I combine the helmet that I'm playing with 1 Sweeping Blow, then that's 4 Ash, and that's enough for my 4 0-cost dragons. So it's not a great rate, but it's a requirement for the engine to run it. And now to finish off the attack actions, I'm playing 3 copies of Red Billowing Mirage. I'm playing 2 copies of Red Billowing Mirage, 2 copies of Yellow Billowing Mirage, and 2 copies of the Blue Billowing Mirage. If I could play 3 of each, I would. So this is a bit of maybe a weirder take, but let me explain. So as I said earlier, I think Ashwings in this format are absolutely broken. And what you do when you play Billowing Mirage is You pitch a red, you make an Ash, so it makes you Ash for 0-cost dragons if you really need it. Not a great rate, but it's okay. But you also can make an Ashwing. And so playing out 6 copies in total of Billy Mirage gives me access to at least 6 Ashwings, which increases my AB count for certain matchups. But also just the value on an Ashwing is so good because I go, it's basically a 1-for-4 go again, but I keep an Ashwing on board for next turn. So if my opponent clears that Ashwing, it's a 1-for-5 go again in the red. And if they don't clear it, then the value just keeps increasing, which is why I think I like playing the yellow and the blue Billy Mirage, but I also tested a lot into Guardians who are trying to fatigue me. And just having an attack that doesn't have Phantasm but increases the size of your board is super, super important, which is why I really, really like playing all copies of Billy Mirage. And at the end of the day, they all block 3, so if you can't make use of them or the value just isn't great, just block with them and it's fine. Now for the rest of the deck, this is mostly sideboard stuff. There's 2 Oasis Respite in here, 2 Passing Mirage, 2 Essence of Ancestry Body, 2 Sand Cover, 1 Time Snap Potion, 1 Rake Over the Coals, 2 Arcane Polarity, and 2 On the Horizon. Oasis Respite, this is just in here for the wizards. It can make you an Ash as well, so actually into some of the slower mid-range matchups, like a Warrior, I would play Oasis Respite too, just because it helps you manage your Ash economy and you don't get punished by playing like a 2-card 5 defensively in those matchups. Pass Mirage, this is very, very important for matchups that have poppers. So for something like Brute or Guardian, I'll play Mage Master Boots, and as I said before, it basically turns into Mirror Guy. But even just playing this as a Chain Ender or just go Dragon, Pass Mirage into like a Guardian is a very, very powerful play, and it's kind of how you win those matchups. And to talk about what I think is the star of the day, that is Essence of Ancestry Body, this card is absolutely absurd. It is by far your best answer to the aggro decks. It won me so many games today. In my semi-finals against a Briar, my opponent took like 9 damage to go down to 1, and I played this as my Chain Ender, and he just scooped because he had Rune Chants on board, which would trigger the ward and trigger the effect of this, and his hand was pump, 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 snatch. So I just won on the spot. This card is just so good into all your aggro decks. Every time I played it today, I got at least 5 value from it. So very, very strong card. It's basically your only answer to the hypo aggro decks. It just buys you so much space. It's such a tempo swing. You have to play this card. It's my favourite card today. And then I'm also playing 2 copies of Sand Cover. This is a 0-for-4 D-React at the cost of eating up some Ash, which is a bit of a downside, but if you manage your Ash economy properly, you should just about have enough to afford playing Sand Cover. And into the slower matchups, into the wizards, it's a no-brainer to play. It's very easy. One thing to note with Sand Cover as well is that it's an instant, and the Ash it targets only gets destroyed if it does ward 4. So if it's your turn and you've not drawn a starter and you have a board of dragons, you can swing the dragon and play the Sand Cover, and that gives the dragon go again, and you even keep the Ash for next turn as well. So that did actually come up to in a few games when I was testing as well. To talk about the 2 1-ofs, they're basically in for the same matchups. Time Snap Potion, I play this into matchups that I think are going to try fatigue me, that have a lot of poppers. This basically acts as a 3rd Dromai, so my goal when I'm playing into something like a Guardian is to have a Time Snap Potion, 4 or 5 dragons on board, Rake Over the Coals in my pitch stack, and 2 Dromais in my pitch stack. And when you combine that with all the damage that you've been chipping away at, with all the 0-for-4s, etc., then it's easy enough to kill them. You just have to kind of get to that end state. So that's why they're both in here. Rake Over the Coals gives all your dragons +1. So if you've gone double Dromai in your pitch stack and you've got like 4 or 5 dragons on your board, it's a 1-card 6 that basically guarantees lethal. So very strong as a 1-off. I don't like playing more than 1 because I don't think you need it, and it doesn't block. So yeah. Then there's Arcane Polarity. It's really strong, flexible card. There's a lot of Rune Blades, a lot of wizards popular in Silver Age at the minute, so just having a 1-card 4 gain life is very, very strong. But also, it's a red instant, and in spots where you're really desperate for a starter, it can double up as a starter. So you just swing your dragon, play Arcane Polarity, gain 1, and then get go again for the rest of the turn. So it's a very flexible card, very strong card, and because this deck is quite redline, pitching for AB isn't really that good, and so having 8 extra life when you're playing into these arcane decks is very strong. And the last card in the deck is On the Horizon. It's just a card that blocks 4. Blocking 4 is very, very strong. It's red as well, so you can pitch it, make Ash, and yeah, that's about it. Really strong card. I very much liked it. And that's the deck in its entirety. If you're new to Flesh and Blood, then give it a try. Dromai is a really, really fun hero. It's the first hero that I ever properly played in Flesh and Blood. It kind of got me in love with the game. And if you used to play Dromai and are a veteran, then hopefully this has inspired you to pick up your dragons again, because Silver Age is, at the minute, quite a fast format, but Dromai is a deck that feels like it has game into absolutely everyone. There's never been a game where I've gone like, yeah, I had no chance of winning that. It's just a very solid deck. You have so many different ways to beat different decks, so many different game plans, so many outs. It's just, yeah, if you play Dromai, then you know what it's about. And now for the box opening portion of the video. I really enjoy opening boxes. It's so much fun. So if I'm not saying much during the box opening, it's just because I'm enjoying myself. Hopefully I get something good. All right, let's get this open. And I'll start off, I'll just start going through the packs. All right, let's see what we get. Just move some things on this table. All right. Okay, strong stomach for adversity, cold foil. That's a good start. It's playable in Silver Age of all formats. So smash up. Some decent cards in there. I don't play any of the heroes from Super Slam, but it's still a nice set to open. Okay, let's see what else we get. Nothing amazing yet. Let's go for the left side. Channel Tranquil Domain. Already got my playset for Verdance, but really strong card. Big fan of it. Tough nuts. Jaws of Victory, very strong card. Strong to Survive, and also very strong card. There were some very good pulls from the other packs. A Marvel Hero, Cold Foil, Fabled, so this box might be the dud. We'll see. Unwavering Resolve. Interesting, not seen that one. Oh, and Bluster Buff. I need one of those for my playset, because it's a good popper in Silver Age. Not an amazing box so far. Adult, so glad they stopped making these Majestic. Even though it didn't take up a Majestic slot in the deck, it just felt so bad opening this as your Majestic. Or it didn't take up a slot in the box, I should say, not the deck. Nothing amazing yet. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Young Marvel KO. Strong arm. Make sure the camera sees that properly. The lighting's a bit off because of the back of the box, but really nice. Look at that Marvel. Wow, that's a nice one. That's my entry page for. Majestic, Crowd Goes Wild. Yeah, just one card 6. Backspin Thrust. I need one of these for puffing. And let's see what else is in here. They absolutely nailed the expansion slots for this set. Really good reprints. There's the adult KO. Rainbow Foil Big Bully. Can't believe it's not Majestic. Probably the best card in our KO. At least that comes from this set. Another Skull Charm, that's cool. Oh, Mage Hunter Arrow. Already have my playset again. Sadly not enough for Riptide to stand a chance into Verdance really, but it's still a good arrow. Majestic, no hero stands alone. I haven't actually seen this card. Maybe that says all you need to know about it. Liar's Charm, really cool card. Hoping to get the Pleiades one. Pleiades is a fun deck to play. I'll pick that one up. Return the results, cool card. Light Up the Leaves, really strong card, made Verdant's best deck in the format. Again, I already have my playset, sadly. Smashing Ground, another incredibly good super from the set. Could easily have been a Majestic. Hunter or Hunted. Why did LSS print this card? It is the most infuriating card to play against. It's like Bonds, but there's literally nothing you can do about it. It either does literally nothing and is a 2-card 4, or it takes one of the best cards from your deck and there's nothing you can do about it. Why? Anyway. The last few packs. Alright, 2 left to go. Both Pleiades as well. Sadistic Scowl, really strong card for Lyeth. It's a shame he's not very good. And then last pack of the box. Let's see what we get. Let's see what I get. Okay. Oh, Felling of the Crown. Also have my playset of this, but phenomenal reprint. The only reason I picked up Verdance, actually. Really, really cool card. And so affordable now, which is what the game needs more of. Oh, and a show of strength. A double majestic pack to finish things off. So overall, yeah, pretty happy with this box. Lots of majestics, ones that I did need at a time, but I already own now. Got some cards in here that I didn't have. So let's line them up and see exactly what this box was. Shame about the cold foil. Didn't end up being that great, but majestic, majestic. And then the highlight of the box is the KO. But yeah, that finishes the deck tech and the unboxing. If you have any questions, want to discuss Dromai or anything like that, then feel free to leave a comment. Love discussing these sort of things. And thank you for watching and have a good day.